Hey everyone, it's Caito, and in today's video, we are going to be talking about diagonal paths, diagonal farms, all things diagonal using the in-game pathing. So if you're interested in content like this and you want to see more in the future, I'd appreciate if you'd like and subscribe. Make sure you hit that notification bell if you want to be notified every time that I post, but let's get right into it. So as you can see here, I am on my baseball field that I just created recently, and I know probably not many people want to create a baseball field on their island, but I think the basis of this, the actual process of creating these diagonal paths could come in useful if you haven't tried it yet. So I'm going to show you exactly how I did it, and it's actually a lot easier than you think. So first things first, I actually want to show you a farm using some diagonal pathing, and I think these are becoming more and more popular. The first version of these diagonal farms that I happened to see was from my good friend Allie at Autumn Weeds. I will have all of her links and everything down in the description below. It is always so inspiring. She makes just the best stuff. So go follow her if you're not already. But I saw her create a diagonal farm, and I recently did a video featuring a bunch of different styles of farm, and there was actually a diagonal farm in that video as well. And the great thing about them is I think there's so many different ways that you can make them unique. You can add different things in between each row. You can use all of the same crop. You can use things that aren't even crops. Really, there's so many different things you can do to make these fit onto your island. The first thing that we need to do is grab the design code that we're going to be using. I will have this code listed down in the description. It is also pinned over on my Pinterest as well. And one thing that I love about this design code is the creator actually made a design for each different month of the in-game grass. So this is going to match the grass perfectly. So all you have to do is look in here and find the corresponding number to whichever month that you're going to be playing in. It's also really easy to change it if you're someone who doesn't time travel and stay in a certain month. All you're going to have to do is go in each month and change out the grass patterns, and you can save the design directly over your existing designs, and it will automatically change wherever that code is on your island. So just make sure you're saving the same diagonal over the same diagonal, if that makes any sense. So for me, I'm playing in September right now, so I chose the one that was a 9. I already have them downloaded because I used them on my baseball field. And now we're going to start placing some dirt. Basically, y'all are going to watch me completely struggle with being able to place dirt in the correct spot because for some reason, it's a challenge for me. I like to start out by placing my diagonal squares first. And wherever these squares are, that's going to be the center of your diagonal. If you're doing a single tile diagonal like the one that we're going to be creating, those tiles will be where you're burying your crops or you're placing items. Then I go back through, and on each side of those squares, I put a square on each side. And you're going to see me on the screen placing these down. So you end up with these diagonal diamonds, basically. Then I'm going to go through and I'm going to round all of these corners because to me, it looks better if you have a rounded edge. There's just a little bit less of that overlap of the custom pattern once we put those down. So I'm going to go through and I'm going to round all of the edges. Once you have your edges rounded, now it's time to place down the custom design, and you're just going to go through and you're going to hide those rounded parts so you get this nice, crisp, straight line. I really love this design and how it allows you to use these in-game paths to create your farms, because previously, in order to get any kind of diagonal pattern, you had to leave those bubbled edges or use a custom pattern, but using a custom pattern, you can't dig on top of them. It's just nice to be able to add some diagonal elements into your designs because everything else is so linear. Unless you're doing a more natural island where you're using custom patterns, anytime you can add diagonals in, it's definitely a plus. So now I'm just finishing up by planting some carrots down here, just showing you what it would look like if I were to bury things here. And that's all you have to do. There it is, a completed diagonal farm. Like I said, you can put whatever you want to down here. If you wanted to do a tiny tree farm, if you didn't want to dig on the dirt, but you still wanted to do this method and do some kind of gyroid farm or star fragment farm, there's just so many different options here. Then you can play around with whatever you're going to put down the center of these. Do you want to add bushes like Allie did? Maybe some custom patterns? There's so much stuff you can do here. And as you saw earlier with my baseball field, you can also make these thicker. You can make them as thick as you want to. So I'm going to quickly just place down some dark dirt here. You're going to do the same exact method, but this time you're going to continue placing those extra squares on the sides until you get it to the width that you want it to be. Now I will say, when you put this custom pattern down on something like dark dirt, it doesn't blend as nicely as the light dirt, so just keep that in mind. But here is the final dirt path with the custom pattern. You could use any in-game path you wanted to. And then I'm going to head back over and show y'all the baseball field one more time so you can kind of see a completed area. And I think something like this would be great to add some different sidewalks onto your island. I've seen people using them to create diagonal neighborhoods. I really love them so much, and I can't wait to think of more ways to incorporate them onto my island. So what do you think? Are you going to create a diagonal farm? Are you going to make some diagonal paths on your island? Let me know down in the comments below. I hope you all enjoyed this video. If you did, I'd appreciate if you'd like and subscribe, and I'll see you in the next one. Bye!